Muslim Quebecers are constantly pointed out as being fifth columns by this government, that somehow simply being visibly religious is dangerous to the identity or the culture of the province as a whole.
Tomorrow, Quebec is tabling a new bill banning public prayers. And a lot of us might agree with this, but what if I were to tell you that leaked information shows that they're going for a lot more than just public prayers? My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? What are you saying? How's your day going?
I'm saying that Quebec is doing some stuff again.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to hear, what you said. There was some more because I just saw the headlines, right? Public prayer being banned, and I'm all for it. I mean, right off the ground, right off the jump, I'm happy to. It's funny because I guarantee you, it's going to be portrayed as like, oh, it's Islamophobia, but no one's banning Muslim prayers, right? It's banning all prayers publicly. I just don't think that prayers, we're a secular society. And I think private worship should be done privately. And I absolutely support everyone's right to worship whoever they want. But it's a private thing. It shouldn't be done in the streets. And certainly not in a way that shuts down.
Private worship should be done privately. Here we go again with repeating ourselves.
Yeah, redundant, right? Redundancy.
So here's the question I have for you guys out there. Should public prayers be banned throughout Canada, or our laws are sufficient, but they need to be enforced? Because that's the real question, and that's what I want you to keep in mind as we're going through the video today, because there's it's hard for me to say this, but I'm going to play a video from CBC. Actually, really well done. Like, I have to say that video, it's the type of video I produce. You know, you're just talking into the camera and you're clipping some videos kind of explaining what you're talking about. So I do this type of content all the time. The guy's bald, so I already like him. But it's my type of content. Like, it's really well done. But the guy, because he works for CBC, and you know how it is when you're paid by the government, you get access to people that you and I wouldn't have access to. So
absolutely,
this video, like I said, very well done. It's about 3 minutes long. We'll stop it quite a few times because he talks about stuff that I was not expecting. Like, I'm actually very surprised by this bill, and I do not think it's going to be received
interesting.
Well.
It's
going to be tabled tomorrow. I'm going to be looking at it. I'm going to review it when it's stable tomorrow. But from what we know, from the leaked information that CBC is about to share, you'll see that, that it's going to be a problem. It's definitely not going to be well received. So let's get into it. Here is Baldy from CBC. It's a great nickname.
The CAQ government is introducing another round of new measures to strengthen secularism in Quebec.
I think it's really important that our laicity model evolve with the Quebec society. We've made really good work in 2019 with Bill 21, but now Quebec's had evolved too.
The bill hasn't been tabled yet, but Radio-Canada has been able to confirm some of the proposed measures. They include a ban on public prayer with some exceptions, a ban on religious symbols for daycare workers, a ban on prayer spaces in cégeps and universities, a ban on prominent display of religious symbols in communications or advertising by public institutions, a ban on public institutions offering exclusively religious-based menus, a gradual end to public funding of private schools that select students based on religion, and an extension of a ban on religious symbols for all workers in public schools to include all workers in private schools as well. Earlier this fall, François Legault said he wanted to strengthen the law to protect Quebec from what he called radical Islamists. But many are questioning why any of this is necessary.
But what did happen since the last 6 years to justify some sort of measures? The answer is
Oh.
nothing at all. So they're trying to create a cry of.
So
sorry. Yeah, I want to
go ahead.
Let me stop it right there, brother. What happened was we've seen video after video of people in a certain religious group shutting down streets, praying outside of public spaces, and literally shutting down public streets. And once you do that, and once your religion is encroaching on public enjoyment of property or public use of public property, then that is a material difference. And in my opinion, this is the catalyst for these kind of laws.
And this is exactly why I was asking the question earlier. Are we talking about our laws needing more ban? Like, do we need more laws in place banning public prayers? Or should we simply enforce the one that we currently have? Because blocking the street, for example, is illegal.
Sure.
We know that. Christians can't do that. We've seen them just literally talk about the Bible on a sidewalk and they get arrested. Like Derek Reimer, Arthur Pawlowski. We're talking about people that weren't blocking the street. So is it really a problem with more bans, that's what is required, or should we simply enforce the laws that we already have? So again, let's continue, because I want to go back. Once we're done with the video, I'll go back and I'll rename everything that they're banning. At least that's the leaked information that they have, because it's a lot more than just banning public prayers. Like there was at least 6 or 7 different things that they're going to ban. So let's finish the video.
We could even just go down, go like one. We go down each one, and because some of those I thought were definitely reasonable. I could also, other ones I could certainly. I'd also like to hear some other opinions. Maybe I'm not seeing something how that could be a problem, but I think that'll be a good conversation.
We agree, man. Let's do this.
That does not exist, to address a problem that does not exist.
Clairement, la CAQ improvise des trucs sans les étudier dans le but de créer des clivages et potentiellement remonter dans les sondages.
Religious groups are also unhappy.
Muslim Quebecers are constantly pointed out as being fifth columns by this government. That somehow simply being visibly religious is dangerous to the identity or the culture of the province as a whole.
I know.
And in a
I know what you're going to
statement,
say.
the Quebec Assembly of Catholic Bishops says, "We note with astonishment that the government is proposing a radical infringement on the rights and freedoms of the Quebec population. The opposition says this is an unpopular government with nothing left to lose that's introducing these measures out of desperation. But some say Quebec is headed in the same direction as the US and some far-right governments in Europe."
I'm not saying that we are far right yet, obviously. We're far from that, but we're getting there. I mean, each and every measures like that, I mean, we're getting there.
As with all its other secularism laws, the CAQ government will preemptively invoke the constitutional notwithstanding clause with this one to prevent it from any potential court challenges.
Okay, so that's the full video. I'm just going to remove it from the screen so that we can talk, you and I, but on my screen I will go through all the points that they mentioned. So the first point was
before you do, I just want to take this one question really quick from DNL. He says, "I'm really confused by this discussion. So if you block a street because of your religious beliefs, this is wrong. But if you block a street because of non-religious beliefs, that's okay." No, it's never okay.
No, it's not.
Who is defending anyone blocking streets? That's the entire point. There's never an excuse to block public use by private people as a regular thing. That's the entire crux of my argument. No one should be allowed to block streets, public streets, for any reason whatsoever.
And I agree. That's my whole point too. And you're talking to a Christian. Yeah. But I don't think that if Christians started to block the street, block traffic just because they want to, I'd be the first one to call them out and say, you know what? Keep that off the street.
Yes, exactly.
That's very simple. It has nothing
to do
with being religious.
It's not about it's not about worship. It's a power
No.
move. They're saying
100%.
we're here, we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want. It's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. And
every time every time a liberal says we're here, the next words in my head is we're here, we're queer. So every time
yeah.
I just can't stop myself. Every time a liberal says we're here, we're queer is the next.
Yeah.
But so the first thing they want to ban, obviously, is what we all expected, is ban on public prayers. That's the first one. I think you and I just addressed it. At least that's how I feel about it. I don't think anybody should be allowed to block the street. And funny enough, I got another video that I posted I think last week that went absolutely viral on my Instagram, and there's an update on it. This woman plowed through a Free Palestine protest in Toronto. Did you see that video?
Wasn't she a counselor? Was she a city councilor or something?
It's just no.
Flipping the bird as she was going.
We'll talk about it afterwards, but all to say that I don't think that you should be blocking the street, especially not because you feel like it. Now, protest, that's a different story. Like, I understand why people have the right to protest. People take advantage of it, but at least if you are there to protest, you're not just praying in the middle of the street. That's one thing. Because as you said, we're secular.
Yeah.
Even I'm telling you that as a Christian and in a nation that was built by Christians. So
Yep.
it's not a Christian nation anymore. We have to respect that. So, ban on public prayers. Obviously, we knew that one. The second one they were talking about is ban on religious symbols for daycare.
That one. So what? Yeah, like I guess. So that's a good place to start. Now, what are we talking about here? We're talking about. I don't have an issue with anyone like a daycare worker wearing a cross or a hijab. Even my issue is with face covering. Right. I do not believe that in a free and open society anyone should be covering their face. But to wear a cross or a hijab, that I don't. That to me, this does seem like I don't know why they added that. I don't think I don't think that's an issue.
We're gonna see what they mean, because right now, again, keep in mind, guys, that what we're talking about is speculative. Like, this is leaked information that CBC obtained, and those are what they're saying is going to be part of the bill. But the bill has not been tabled, but it's going to be tabled tomorrow. So, ban on religious symbols for daycare. What do they consider a symbol? That's the real question. And I'm going to see, I'll read the bill tomorrow and I'll give you an update tomorrow. It has to be
like a cross as well, because it's not geared towards any religion, right? It's all religion. So that they're
it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, right?
Yes. So I wonder if they're going to make carve outs for Sikhs, the swords that they have or turbans, because that's another thing too. For whatever reason, we do seem to make an allowance for that little dagger by the Sikhs, and I guess to be fair, I don't think that's been abused. Like, if there was a bunch of cases where Sikhs are going around stabbing people, I think that would change real fast. But as long as that hasn't actually happened, I guess maybe that's the thinking. I don't know.
It's a fair question, right?
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, and this is why it's such an interesting discussion. There's a whole lot of nuance and angles to it.
Yep. But, I was listening to the radio because I'm a big fan of talk radio. I used to listen to the AM radio talk stations for hours. I was always on the road as a sales guy, right? So I was listening to this stuff all the time. And yesterday I was on my way to the gym and they were having an interesting conversation. They had a teacher. They had, I'm pretty sure she was a kindergartner teacher. And she comes from a place in Africa. I can't remember which one, but she's Muslim. And she was saying that where she's from, face covering are no-no. She's like, if she was talking about going to a mall near where I am, a massive mall. And she's like, I was there a few weeks ago and I came in and there was a few women with full face covering. She's like, I walked out. Yep. I will never encourage a place where women like that are it's acceptable for them to wear that, because she's like, where I'm from,
Yes.
people hid behind those masks to commit crimes, to kill other people, to explode themselves. So she's like, nope, as per what I'm used to, I don't like this. And you're talking about a black woman from Africa that's a Muslim. You're not talking about a Christian white girl that's called Karen from Quebec. You're talking about somebody that has lived through it. So it's hard to argue with that.
If you believe in an equal society, I mean, and you believe that women have the same, value in like intrinsic value as men, and they should be treated equally under the law, you have to be very concerned with that, because I'm sure that there are many women in those religions who are wanting to wear those, but like just because they say they want to with their male mind, or that they're not allowed to leave the house with them right beside, and they say, oh yeah, I want to wear this, that doesn't really mean it. Like, there are absolutely a lot for a lot of women, certainly in a lot of those countries over there, like Afghanistan, Iran, they don't have an option, they don't have a say in it. So people who say, oh well, I want to wear this. Okay, well, what would happen if you took it off, though? If your brother or your husband will beat the shit out of you, then it's not really, you're not really wanting to wear that. It's just, the fact of the matter is because I'm sure there's many women who like many Muslim women who want to wear those, but there are undoubtedly many who don't. And in order to protect those people, I think that's why that kind of a ban on that kind of thing is appropriate.
Again, it's very hard for me to disagree with that when even Muslim individuals say that they shouldn't be wearing that, because it's a misconception that all Muslim women wear that, right?
Yep.
That's the thing. Like, there's one of the comments in there saying that in Iran in the 1970s and 1960s, it was extremely Americanized. Women were wearing
too,
bathing suits. Exactly.
Afghanistan,
and if you do a research and you look at their customary outfits, it has nothing to do with what you see. It's super colorful. It's very Asian based. Like, it looks very Asian what they were wearing until extremely recently, right? You're talking last 50 years. So
not even
that the burqa,
30.
While Iran is 90, it's in the 70s.
Okay, sure.
That the Shah took over, so that's why I'm saying 50. But the other thing that they were talking about, this one is interesting. Ban on prayer spaces in cégep and universities, so colleges and universities. Exactly right.
I'm trying to be sort of like fair and balanced about this. I wouldn't have put that in there if I was writing the law. Like, in my opinion, my whole thing is you have the right to pray and worship, but it's a private thing. You can't do it in public. If you want to pray silently on the corner to yourself, I don't care. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like using public infrastructure, shutting down public services infrastructure. And in my opinion, if you have a set aside room where someone, a Muslim or a Christian or someone can go to pray, that's private. I consider that private. I don't particularly, I wouldn't have put that in. I wouldn't like take to the streets to fight against it. But it is one of those. It is a complex discussion, right? And we're all going to like have to give some ground on some of these issues in order to reach, I think, a compromise.
The question when it comes to ban on prayer spaces in colleges and universities is, do we have a group that's favored compared to the others? And obviously I'm talking about Muslims over Christians.
I think so.
Are there more rooms for Muslims that there are for Christians? Do Christians? Yeah, now that's the thing.
Good point.
Because at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. What you do behind closed doors, I don't give a fuck. I don't need to agree with it. If you're not hurting children, you're not messing up with children, I don't really give a fuck even if I disagree. Doesn't matter to me. But if you're in the public space, it either we all have the rights to do it, or we all have the rooms to do it, or we don't. It's an either or. There's no gray area as in preferential treatment for certain group. And remember when we had that student from Concordia University, and she sent me a bunch of pictures of their, what was it called? We called it agenda in French, but that's not what it is, but their daily planner that Concordia gives, remember?
Oh, yes, that's right.
With free Palestine and Muslim religion stuff in there. That's not right. That's absolutely not right. So either you don't have it at all or everybody has it. So often it's simpler to just say none at all. That's probably where they're going with this, because it's just simpler. But again, we'll see, because the bill has not been tabled. We'll see it tomorrow. The next point here that they had is ban on prominent display of religious symbols in communication or advertising by public institutions, which Concordia University, just like I was talking about,
yes,
that would be no free Palestine crap, no Muslim related information in there. Do I agree with that or not? Yeah, I agree. I don't think, if it's public, it shouldn't be. If we decided, if we decided as a society that Canada is a secular society, then no raising of other people's flags, no raising of other people's religions, no massive protests, or not protests, but massive praying on school grounds, public grounds, as in parks. And that goes for all the religions out there. It's just, it ain't Christians that are doing it right now. Let's be honest here. So when it comes to public space, we either are secular or we're not. And right now, we have a two-tier solution for Muslims and Sikhs that Christians don't get to enjoy. Let's be real.
And that's wrong. So that's wrong. You cannot have, it has to be equal representation under the law for everyone. And I say that as I'm not a Christian, I'm an atheist, but I still have eyes, and I can see that Christians are getting treated unfavorably relative to other religions, and that offends my sense of justice. I have a real issue with that. As you were reading that little that point there, or that subsection of the law, I was thinking, no, I don't agree with that, until it got to the very end, because it was talking about like banning religious and advertising. Some, private companies should be free to advertise however they want, right? The market will punish them if the market doesn't like their advertising. Yeah. But then once you said in public institutions, I do agree with that. 100% agree with that. It's now, really not difficult. In a public, anything public has to be neutral. Has to be.
Yep, I agree. So I'm just going to take this one. We'll take a bunch of comments afterwards, because I know
there's some good ones for sure.
So DNL is asking, Nico, I'm trying to follow your argumentation. Are you for a secular society? It's not, am I for or not? It's the fact that we have one. That's the point. It shouldn't matter if I'm for it or against it. This is what we have. This is what people tell us that we have. So should people get preferential treatment? No. So we either have a secular society or we don't.
Yeah.
But the fact that...
And if we don't, if we do have a religious-based society, well, it obviously should be Christianity. But I just clearly, just based on our history, right? That's a given.
Yep.
Like I said, even as an atheist, I still recognize that the country is founded on, culturally Judeo-Christian values. We, as you said, we don't live in a religious society. We live in a secular society. That is how it's been set up. That is how, personally, that's how I want society to be. I think that's how the majority of Canadians want it to be. As you're a Christian and a very, a devout one. And you are okay with that, right? It only becomes a problem when we see a particular religion or one or two which are getting treated favorably. And that is when, that causes real tensions. And the only way to do it, the only way to have a cohesive society is say worship whatever or whoever you want in private. Public space is neutral and secular.
And I agree. Now, would I rather have a Christian society than have a secular society? Yes, I would. As a Christian,
sure. Of course you would.
But this is But this is not the situation in which we are right now.
Yep.
So let's agree that we're secular. Let's treat everybody the same if that's what we agree on. And this is a great comment by Sheldon Forbes. Canada's always been a 4-tier society, 1 tier for laws for Indigenous people, 1 for immigrants, 1 for government employees and politicians, and 1 for regular Canadians.
Oh yeah.
I agree 1,000,000%. Great comment. I agree.
There's a lot of great
this
comments.
Is what
we'll take them after we're done. We're done going down these laws.
You know, I did not choose this topic because it's trending or people are talking about it. I chose this topic because it is a topic. Obviously, I'm a Christian. I like to talk about this, but everybody has an opinion, and the whole point of our show is to be able to have a civil conversation, civil discourse. So it doesn't matter that you're left, you're right, you agree, you disagree. It doesn't matter. We just want to have that space to have a conversation. And again, all the comments that we're getting, those don't lie. They're all over the place. Some agree, some disagree, some don't seem to care. But it's a great topic to discuss. So
I do want to just quickly take this one from DNL. So DNL says, but our charter rights does not say we live in a Christian society. It says we live in a religious, free society, not a secular one, except Quebec is moving away from this. I mean, Quebec is all famously secular. Quebec has been very, very secular for at least the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Since the 70s.
Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Since the 70s.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Like Quebec has been almost militantly secular. Is it not true? Because I heard this not long ago, and I thought I never heard of this. I thought it was crazy. Is it true that women in Quebec do not by law take their husband's name? Or they can't take their husband's name?
No, they can't.
Is there? Okay, for some reason, there's just, it must have been an internet rumor or whatever.
No.
But I do know that Quebec is famously militantly secular.
Oh yeah.
But DNL, I wanted to say, I mean, what do you think is the difference between a religious free society and a secular one? In my mind, they're the exact same thing. I don't see how there's a difference. That's what secular is, a religious free society.
But put back the comment if you still have it, because I'd like to address that one.
I got it.
But our Charter of Rights does not say that we live in a Christian society. No, but I never said that it did. What I'm saying is that it was created, Canada was created by Christians. It's Christians that came from Europe that settled here. So it was based on Christian values. And if you just look at our system of law, it's based on Christian values. So it's not because it doesn't say it in our Charter of Rights that it is not based on Christianity. It is still the people that created this country. So, but no, it doesn't say it. And I'd like to understand the difference too, because maybe I'm the one that doesn't see the nuance between religious free society and a secular one. So I'll plead ignorance on that one, but I'd like...
Yeah, I don't see the difference.
As much as I disagree, DNL disagrees with me all the time, and I disagree with him, he still is very competent in his ideas. Like, he knows how to put two words together, so clearly I'm missing something here. The next point that they were talking about is a ban... What? But I have two more. Don't take a new comment.
We'll get back to it.
Want to address? Yeah, because we're almost done.
No, it's not a comment. It's something we were just talking about. I googled this just as we were talking about it, just to see, like, am I crazy? And if you Google, women take their husband's last name in Quebec, you actually can't. It says no, a woman cannot leave her husband's last name in Quebec website where it says no, you can't, which is really interesting. You have to. It's not that it's illegal. You have to go out of your way to go and do it. It's not automatic the way that it is. But that's really crazy.
Sure.
Yeah,
whatever.
My wife did not see there. No, it's...
I got married last year. My wife did not take my name. I couldn't care less. I don't give two shits about that. Couldn't care less. Don't care about it.
No, but the point was it's meant. It's a law made in the 80s to get, and it's part of Quebec's sort of militant secularism. It was seen as like a religious tradition or something, and that's why they did it. That's kind of why. But yeah, no, and not that it's even relevant to the discussion at hand. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely not illegal. Now, is it more problematic? Does that surprise me that you need to go out of your way to have it happen, to make it happen? No, it doesn't surprise me. And that's the main reason why my wife did not take my name. It's just that you need to change all your IDs. You need to change your
you have to go out of your way. Yeah.
Left, right, and center. It's just complicated. And it's not just a Quebec thing, it's a Canada thing, right? You need to change your name everywhere. Was it worth it or not? My son has my last name, and it's not that gay ass hyphenated last name. It's my fucking last name. So, but either way, I personally don't care. But yeah. So the next point,
so we'll get back to it. We got a couple more points.
Yeah, I think it's 2. So the next point is ban on public institutions offering exclusively religious-based menus. That is a very strange one to me.
No, so
that's a strange one to me.
Well, the thing is I think it's mostly talking about halal food, right? But
obviously, there's I don't know of exclusive Christian food,
right? Like, and like Jewish people have their own. It's kosher for them, but that's never been an issue because you have not had, some places will offer kosher menus, but you never had places that were saying we only offer kosher, which is what you're seeing now. There's a lot of places at schools sometimes it's which is obviously a public institution who's saying we only offer halal. And I do have an issue with that because there are other religions like Sikhs specifically who are actually banned from eating halal food. They cannot eat food that's prepared for halal. I think there's a couple other religions as well, just by the way that it's done. It's pretty cruel to animals the way that halal food is prepared, so again it gets back to this thing. You can't have something where you serve only halal food. If other religions, that means they can't eat, right? Because we get back to this, we have a multicultural, multi-religious society. And I saw DNL's definition there of secular versus non-religious.
Let's take it afterwards. Just save the comment.
But my point is you can't. It goes back to kind of, I think, what most people are saying here is same rules have to apply for everyone. If you have something where if you have this type of food that another religion can't eat, then it seems reasonable that you would ban that.
I personally, that one, I don't really care. It doesn't apply to me at all. Like, there's nothing that Christians say that we can't eat. But it's not true. Shellfish and stuff like that, as per the Bible, they're not supposed to be eaten, but I don't really eat that stuff either way. But the part that this reminds me of, and I don't think that that's what they're talking about, we'll see the bill tomorrow, but I'm starting to hear, and this is not just in Quebec, I've heard about this across Canada, where schools are being asked by Muslim parents to prevent kids from showing up with bacon, for example.
No, fuck that.
You can go fuck yourself, go suck one. I don't eat bacon just because it doesn't agree with me. I don't digest it well. It's so, the crap that it's cured with today is not just salt like it used to be, right? There's a lot of preservative on that shit, and I just don't do well with it. But man, I love the smell of fucking bacon. Bacon is fucking incredible.
Oh yeah,
man. Even as a vegan back in the days, I'm like, bacon.
Oh fuck yeah. And it just goes back to the main point: is you can worship your religion as long as it doesn't infringe on other people's enjoyment of public property or what they want to eat. And if you're a Muslim and you don't eat bacon or pork, completely support that. That's great. I would oppose if a school only had pork on the menu, right? Because Muslims have to be able to eat too. But you don't get to tell my kid what he can eat. You don't get to tell me what I can eat. That's where the line is drawn. And it seems like a lot of people, it's just an entitlement. It's just entitlement. Like, kind of, how dare you even fucking think that you could contact the school and dictate what other kids can eat based on what you don't want your child to eat.
So there's 2 more points here. There's a lot of points. The next one is an interesting one, and that's the one that's going to get a lot of pushback. It's gradual end to public funding of private schools that select students based on religion. Now, what does that mean exactly? Are we talking about schools not being government funded because they're religious school, like Christian schools are all over Canada, right? I don't care where you are. There's normally, I used to sell a lot of services to school boards, and you often had, like, you go to Toronto, for example, you have the district school board, and then you have the
like
Catholic
the Christian
school.
or the Catholic school board. Yeah. But I think the difference is those places you aren't required to be a Catholic to enter.
No.
It's, you know,
no, you're not. No,
yeah,
you're
exactly.
not.
And the issue here, and again, this is, you know, probably specifically targeting Muslims because I believe it's only Muslim schools doing this, but there are schools and they will only take you if you're Muslim. And
Jewish school too, I believe. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I think around Montreal, Jewish schools are for Jewish people.
If it's a private school, then I don't have an issue with it. You know, you can send your kids to whatever school you want.
But it shouldn't be. But the point is that they want to gradually end the public funding of private schools that select students based 100%. On their religion. So 100%. if it's a Catholic school, like the Catholic school board, that is a public school board that doesn't prevent non-Catholics from going to it, I don't see a problem with that at all. Why would you fund it?
It's fine, I think,
if you fund the district, yes. But if you're a Muslim school that don't accept Christians, you shouldn't be getting funding from the government.
No,
but the same thing applies for Jewish people. If
Jewish schools too, and if there was a Christian school that was only accepting Christians, it would apply to them too. Like, this is the point of these rules. They are applied to everyone. That's really, you know, it's,
and they're not saying that these schools. And I'm gonna read the definition tomorrow, but from what we're seeing right now, it's not saying that you cannot open a school that is dedicated to Muslims. You're just not gonna receive public funding if it's privately funded.
Yeah, of course.
They're not saying that you can't have that. So it's a massive difference. It's like me saying I don't want my money to be sent to Ukraine. I don't want it to be sent there. It's the same thing. Yes. I'm not saying that private people shouldn't be able to fund Ukraine if they want to. I don't want my taxpayers' money to be
That's all we're really talking about. That's all anyone cares about is public funds. DNL says Ontario sells public Catholic school boards. They got rid of them in Quebec. Yeah, but the public school boards and Catholic school boards in Ontario will still take students of any religion. You don't have to be Catholic. And that's, under this law, those would be fine.
And that's why I was talking about Toronto, because I know they don't exist in Quebec anymore, but I lived in Toronto for years, and I used to sell to both school boards, like the district and the Catholic. I think there was one more, or was that the last one? No, there's one more. So the last one is extension of ban on religious symbols for all workers in schools to include private schools. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. That one is going to be a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and again, they'll have to talk about what they mean on religious symbols, right? Again, I don't like the hijab, like the headscarf thing. I don't have an issue with that. Like, that's fine. Crosses are fine. Star of David are fine. I don't have any issues with those. That seems like overreach, that clause.
I want to see on the argument could be done on the public school if you want to be a public school, but I've seen the Catholic schools. I've been inside those Catholic schools, and they're not run by nuns anymore. Like, you're not going to a Catholic school and it's filled with nuns. You wouldn't know the difference outside that there's a cross every now and then. But I was in just outside Toronto a few months back. There was a fucking LGBTQ flag outside a Catholic school. So that right there tells you that Catholics are just Catholics by name. It has nothing to do with the Bible. Let's be honest.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm curious to see what they mean by ban on religious symbols for all workers in schools to include private schools. I'd like to see that on the public sector. Like, you go to the DMV, for example, if take the police officers, for example, being a good example on the RCMP level. The RCMP, a Sikh can wear their headband. A woman can wear the hijab, but it's not okay for a Christian to have a cross that is showing. That's bullshit. You don't get to pick and choose. You either allow everybody to wear their religious symbols or you don't. And in my opinion, if you want to be under a secular society, none of them should be able to wear a religious symbols. Because as a Christian, if I get pulled over or I get approached by what I perceive to be two Muslims or a Muslim woman in a hijab or a guy in a turban, I automatically will assume that they don't like me. Let's be honest here.
Sure.
Automatically, I'll assume that there's going to be prejudice, that if I was wearing a headband or I was wearing a turban, they would probably treat me differently. You know what I mean? Like, this might be bad.
And even if
I
they
might
wouldn't,
be at
even
fault
if they
here.
wouldn't, you need to make it so that there's no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's where my mind goes right away, right? It might be bad. Maybe I'm a racist. I don't know. I don't think so. But I hate everybody equally, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if I see a Muslim police officer coming towards me, I automatically assume that they're not going to like me, or we might have frictions as a Christian.
You mean if they know that you're a Christian, or?
Yes. I will expect, let me rephrase what I mean. I expect not to be treated the same as if I was part of their religion. In the same way as if I see a guy that is clearly Christian, a police officer that is clearly Christian because he's showing it somehow, he has a cross, let's say, I assume that I'm going to be treated better because he's a Christian, I'm a Christian, we have something in common outside of just being Canadians. Do you know what I mean? That's how I should frame it. It's not necessarily that they're not going to treat me, they're going to treat me badly. They're not just going to treat me as good as if I was part of their religion. And that shouldn't happen as a public servant. It shouldn't happen. Yeah. And if your religion tells you that you cannot take your headscarf off or your turban, don't be a fucking police officer. Don't be an RCMP agent. It sucks, but that's your choice. At the end of the day, that's a religious choice. Just like not eating bacon. When you go to McDonald's, if you do eat McDonald's, you don't take bacon in your burger. That's the same thing. There's certain things that you're not going to be able to eat because there's pork in it. You cannot take your headband off. Don't be a police officer. You're a public servant. You don't get to be a public servant. Like, there's sacrifices in life, and you know what? Religion is one of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, like, I would say, for me, if I were to say, have to deal with a Muslim cop, I wouldn't necessarily think that they're going to treat me unfairly. But let's say I was in a fight with a Muslim and it was a Muslim cop that broke it up. I would not feel like, I would feel like he would probably, there's a strong tribalistic element to Islam as a religion. I mean, anyone who thinks that doesn't really exist in Christianity, at least not in Western style Christianity. Thing is, it's just people, we are more of a secular society, of course. And even the people who are religious, they're religious in a different way. For most, Muslims, it's the number one thing. And I know for a lot of Christians it is too, but you'll also meet a lot of Christians who, they're Christians. They go to church once a week. They might wear a cross, but it's their fourth or fifth identity, right? It's not their main thing. Yeah. Whereas you rarely, they consider themselves a father, a husband, brother, sports fan, whatever, first, and then a Christian, right? Whereas you rarely will see that with Muslims. And I'm not even saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying it's just a factual thing.
It just is.
So,
it just is.
Yeah, it just
like
is.
Italians in Montreal. I'm in an Italian family. I'm married into an Italian family. Every fucking Italian out there thinks they're Christian, but they're not. They really aren't. But they're all Christians. But they're not.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like in name only, or if you want to call it that. It's just Christianity is practiced different here. And there are certainly, I believe you're one of them, where their Christianity is sort of their main. That's the way they see themselves first and foremost. And again, that's what I'm saying. It's not a bad thing at all. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just a thing. It's just you are or you aren't. So again, the fact that you're like that it shows it's not a bad thing. But there are pretty much all Muslims that I've ever met are like that, where the religion is first and foremost, and tribalism is built into it. And if I were to deal with a police officer and I was having to dispute with a Muslim, I would just assume that I would be treated. I would be at a disadvantage.
Man, we'll just finish the show taking comments because this is such a great subject. Like DNL is making another great
DNL,
point.
and I think it's true.
And I would say the same thing. So
that's true,
interesting. So let me read what he said. So interesting, Nico. I have some bias when it comes to a French cop pulling me over a versus an English cop, and I'll be the first one to admit I've lived all over the place in Canada. I've lived all over the place, and I've been all over the place in the US, and I can tell you, French cops from Quebec, they're the fucking worst.
Oh, fuck.
They are the fucking worst. They're so bad. They're so cocky. I don't know what the fuck they have to do in order to become police officers, but it's like being an asshole is
it's up there. I've gotten pulled over driving through Quebec. Yeah.
I remember I was from because I lived in Ontario more than half of my life, and I had an Altima years and years ago. It was dropped. It has like 18-inch chrome rims on it, and in Ontario you can literally have mirror shades on your windows, right? Like my windows were so tinted you could not see on the inside, and I got pulled over. I think I was going slow on a street because the street was so destroyed and my suspension was so low that I was just being careful. I didn't want to massacre my car in fucking Quebec of all places, and I had an Ontario plate. So the guys got out the car, hands on their guns, and they both, one of them went on each side. One of them went on the
relax,
driver's
boys.
side.
Relax.
I'm like, no, but not even that. Back then, I was still fighting. All I could think, I'm like lean, mean, training 10 times a week on a fucking diet that I hate. I'm like, bros, if I step out of this car, I'm gonna massacre both of you.
One of us is going down.
Oh, both of you guys are going down. I'm gonna step back in my car and just leave. But all to say that, bro, DNL, I'm French and I've seen the bias, so I agree. Let's take we need to thank Wilf.
Oh yes,
Wilf,
thanks, Wilf.
for the tip. Always appreciate just the tip of the P. So thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, take some comments, man. Whatever.
There's a bunch of them. We'll go just not in any particular. I've been starring some of them as we've gone down. This one from Sheridan, just because it's most recent. He said, "How would you know the cops' religion, Rob?" Well, remember the context of the discussion is cops wearing religious symbols. So if he's wearing anything to show, then that's how you would know. I'm kind of
take a turban, for example. Having a turban is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Having an hijab is pretty clear.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's reasonable for cops to not wear religious symbols. And even if you want to say to wear like a cross or something, like I said, this is not, of all the things we're talking about tonight, this is really not, what cops wear is not really any type of hill that I'm going to die on or anything. But one thing that does seem in, the worst scenario to have, whether you make it allowed or not, is to make it allowed for some religions, but not for others.
Exactly.
Right.
And there's my problem always lies exactly that. Now, I love when this happens. So, Walking Campbell Cat is saying, never met a Frenchman that wasn't an arrogant prick. Thank you. Because I am
including,
French.
and she, so including.
But you know what I like is that DNL, the person that I get in arguments with all the time, is actually Walking. You calling Nico arrogant because he ain't. I appreciate that, but I am kind of an ass. So arrogant asshole, whatever. It is what it is. I am an ass. Ask my wife; she'll be the first one to tell you.
Oh yes. Rusty Wiener, great name. Religious symbols. What about LGBT cop cars? That's a good point. I think I would group those in with religious symbols, right? They're clearly ideological, and that's not to say, that's not to make a value judgment on the ideology behind it. It's just to say for public things, especially cops who have been, they're a group of people who have been granted special permission and authority by society to police us. They have to be above any kind of suspicion or reproach.
And it's funny because that was part of my notes. Are they going to ban LGBTQ flags, symbols at public spaces?
Make the argument that much of that is religious as well.
People tell me all the time that it's hard for them to believe in a white bearded man sitting in the sky, and that my answer to them is always the same. It's a lot of hard. It takes a lot more faith to believe in God than it does that women can have penises. So LGBTQ crap is a religion. Takes a lot of faith to believe in 6-inch clitorises. A lot of faith.
Guido Sidor says ideology is different to religion. That's an interesting comment because just to play devil's advocate, in what way? I mean, I'm not even saying that you're wrong. This is one of those things I think you could have reasonable people on both. So I actually don't know where I would stand on this, but I can't think offhand exactly. I guess we all perceive on some level that religion is different from ideology, but maybe it's just the fact that once an ideology gets so big that enough, many hundreds of millions of people believe it, we call it a religion, but maybe it's not that different.
That's a good question, because to me, I could argue that religion is an ideology, at least.
Sure,
from the people looking, like from the outside people looking in. I
guess you'd have to really define ideology, and I will here 1 second.
It's philosophical,
but I
at this
assume
point,
it's going
right?
to be based on the root word of ideas, right? Ideology, a system of ideas and ideals, especially one forms the basis of economic or political theory. Okay, so if it's a series of ideas and ideals that form the basis of economic or politics, okay, sure, ideology and religion are different. But they're just kind of two sides of the same coin. The only difference is one is a set of ideas based on politics, and one is a set of ideas based on spirituality.
Sure. I wanted to show another video before.
Good comment, Guido.
Yeah, we got great commenters. Like, it's insane the amount of comments that we got.
Absolutely.
I was expecting this to be something that would drive the conversation. So every time I hear about
it's a great chat. It's a great conversation.
Oh yeah,
I'm really enjoying it.
So I need to talk about the sponsor of the day. So this episode is brought to you by Gabble, the world's first live video debate app on the market. You can choose to listen in, or you can do like me and debate other people. And I suggest you do. Again, I was on it earlier today, and it's freaking funny. It's just, I love to debate people. It's just fucking hilarious that I get to debate the youth, especially. They're all 20, 25. I fucking love it. Absolutely.
Are you mopping the floor with them or what?
No, but it's polite. That's the thing. Up to now, I've disagreed with most of them, but it's been done very politely. Like, it's actually, they really do a good job. Like, I'm very happy with the way it's going, and I'm going to continue going on as the platform grows. I just think it's funny. It's a good, I shouldn't say funny as in ha ha. It's funny as in I have a good time. I spent like 20 minutes
even
on
if they weren't a sponsor of the show, you'd still, okay.
I just enjoy it. But before you go, just look in the description below. There's our affiliate link. If you try it out, if you download the app from that link, obviously it's good for us. It's another way to support the show. But I highly encourage you guys use it, because I would never take a sponsor that I don't believe in. I actually really like the app. I enjoy it. It's just fun, but I like to debate people. So
it's a good way to do it, because I think it cuts to a big problem with why the discourse has been so poisoned, because most of the political discourse these days happens on social media, and you forget that you're talking to a real human being, like, unless you're talking to a bot or something. And look, I do it. I'm sure everyone has done it, where you probably say things that are harsher than you would in real life. You're kind of an asshole. because you don't feel like it's a real person, even though you know that it is. But I like the idea of an app like that because you're actually seeing the person. You're forced to see their humanity, and that does, I think, make for a more productive debate. Right? People will be a little more naturally polite in a way that just those guardrails just go away when we're on social media, and I think we all do it to some extent.
And most of them have their cameras on. You don't need to. It can just be audio with just like a random picture. But most of them have their camera on. So you're actually talking to someone and you're debating them like face to face. That changes everything. It's easy to be a keyboard warrior on the internet and insult people.
Yeah, right.
Have them in front of you. People tend to be more polite. We have a lot of comments. There's no way we can take them all. We got 4 minutes to go, but there's one thing I wanted to bring up. There's two other things. They're going to be quick, but we've covered, the Sean Foyt. Remember that?
Yeah, the guy that got the singer, the Christian singer.
Yeah, the Christian singer that literally had his shows canceled all over the place in Canada. The only place that kept the dates was Alberta, and even Daniel Smith invited them afterwards to say, hey, you can come. I think it was in Calgary. It was Calgary or Edmonton. You can come and we'll have a show. Well, turns out that, and I knew about this because I know the JCCF, the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom, they told me, and I think they did a press release saying that one of their lawyers is actually helping the church in Montreal to sue the city of Montreal and the city of Quebec for preventing them, and Global News is talking about it here. Church sues after city of Montreal issues a $2,500 fine for hosting MAGA superstar. And they had it was totally legal what they were doing. They had permits for the parks that got pulled after they learned who that person was. They did it in the church, and it was not a paying event. It was just a service. And every church I've ever been to, I don't care where they are in Canada or the US, they all have a band. So instead of having a local band, you have a guy that's known internationally with his band at the service. So there's nothing illegal about that, yet they got fined for doing it. So all to say that they're going after the city. And what's interesting is that I am in talks with the JCCF to have the lawyer that's taking the case right here, Olivier Séguin. He's I'm trying to get him on the show.
Get him on the show?
Talk.
That'd be great.
I'm already in talks. I'm already talking with JCCF. I forgot that I never got a reply from the lawyer, so I got back to them today just saying, hey, I'm still interested, so chop chop, motherfuckers. No, but I'm still interested in talking about this.
And that's actually 100%. A good example. We were talking about earlier how, like, when I was saying, I'm not a Christian, but I can see that, Christians are treated differently than other religions by our government. And other people are like, oh, what do you mean? No, blah, blah, blah. That's a great example right there. This is a guy who was, they have permits that he came into the church. He's not giving public concerts or anything, and even that would be fine if he was, but he wasn't. He was in the church, in the privacy.
For the public ones, he had permits by the city to occupy those parks just like anybody else, but they pulled those after they learned that it was Sean Foyt and
they pulled it after they realized his political opinions, but that's nonsense.
That he's pro-life, not pro-abortion. Yes.
Yeah,
and he loves
nonsense.
Trump. He's a big Trump fan. No.
Yeah. No. You can't do that shit. Like that's a perfect example. Meanwhile, you'll see videos of the extremist preacher preaching from like Boston or like Montreal or something, imam, like a Muslim imam, like literally talking about how the West should be destroyed and the great Satan.
Yeah.
Obviously not every imam, of course, but there are some extremist ones.
River to the sea.
Yeah.
Just in Toronto last week as they're raising the flag from the river to the sea. Yeah, no.
Yes. Exactly, right? Go ahead.
I lied. I have 2 more stories super quick, just like this one. This one's for you. This one, you're going to get a kick out of it. This is not something that's going viral or anything, but I read about this morning. I had to bring it up. I'm going to read the title before I bring it up to the screen. But this Canadian immigrant says he was traumatized by 5 years of separation from his family. He has launched a lawsuit against the government. So this guy right here in the background, is suing the government of Canada for taking 5 years to accept his family to come to Canada. Think about that for a second. There's a dude,
and he's suing the government.
Yeah, so there's a guy
he was separated from them.
Yep. So for more than 5 years, Thomas something, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name, could only remotely parent his children, refugees in limbo in South Africa, while he lived alone in exile in Canada. The Burundian human rights activists have fled without his family because they did not have passports or a Canadian visa. Even after he was granted protection in Canada, Ottawa would not issue his dependents a travel document until their permanent residence application was approved. So for fucking once, it seems that Canada followed a fucking code of immigration.
Yeah.
And that fucking asshole.
Just imagine the entitlement of someone.
One word. Deport. Send that fucking guy back and his family. Go fuck yourself, asshole.
Imagine
no,
the
absolutely
entitlement
not.
to
Absolutely
move to another
not.
country.
No.
And then sue them because they followed their own laws. Like, we're allowed to have our own immigration laws. You don't have, it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. It doesn't matter if it's
Go back, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Go back.
exactly.
You wanted to see your kids? Go back.
Article. They've been here since 2023. Yep. So fucking stop whining, man. They're here eventually. Like, that's crazy, man.
Let's press the issue even more. Here are the words. The Burundian human rights activist who had fled without his family because they did not have a passport or Canadian visa. What type of fucking man are you? You're fucking leaving your family behind because they don't have a passport?
Yeah.
Hey, and that's the type of asshole that's gonna...
That was your choice. If that caused hardship to your family, you're the one who decided to leave. It's crazy, man. That's so crazy. Hey, that's nutty.
Listen to this. The family finally reunited here in 2023, but the prolonged separation has left emotional scars. And his 3 sons and daughters, maybe you shouldn't abandon your children and your wife in South Africa.
Imagine leaving your kids suing the government because they didn't bend their rules.
Listen to this. So they're hurt, said the 53-year-old man who faced persecution because of his work on research and advocacy on LGBTQ issues in Africa, and is now a union employee in Ottawa. Some hurts can't heal. Some guys shouldn't be in Canada. Bye-bye. Yeah. This is the type of guy, this type of shit, if I was in charge, this type of shit, you're suing me for once we're respecting our own laws. Go fuck yourself, asshole. Here's the bill that you cost us, and make sure to pay before you leave. Yeah, because you're owing us. How much did it cost us to bring you and your family here? Did we support you when you were here? How much did the claim cost? Fuck you, $100,000, motherfucker, and you don't let that door hit you in the ass when you leave.
Imagine.
Bye-bye.
He decided to leave, and then he's trying to sue Canada for not breaking its rules. Brother, you're the one who decided. Canada didn't make you leave. And at the end of the day, man, like, people will be like, oh, but he was in danger. Who gives a fuck? Men have been in danger since men have existed. Right?
Hey, how much in danger were you to leave your wife and kids behind?
Yeah. If he was in that much danger, I'm sure they would have been harmed, right? So this is fucking ridiculous. You know, I don't care if you're in danger. Imagine that as an excuse. Why'd you leave your wife and kids? Oh, I was in danger. Fucking, like you said, what kind of a man are you? You
Left
fucking
your wife and kids there. I'm
Yes,
in danger.
that-
I'm out.
that is despicable, man. Like that's when a man stays, is when his family is in danger. Like, that's crazy.
The more I read into this, the less I like this guy, the more he needs to get the fuck out of here.
Just touch entitlement, man. They're even here now, and he's still fucking complaining about it.
I'm not gonna have the time to play one of the videos I wanted to play because the conversation was so. I'm really happy that we went on that conversation for so long. But one of the things, there's a pro-Palestine legal group that's holding that held a conference today that said that they will be suing. They started suing the government about a year ago because of the federal government did not partake enough in the Palestine versus Israel conflict. The government of Canada should have been more involved in declaring Israel the bad people, and this hurt two people from Gaza. They should have allowed for Gazaean to come here to join their men. The video is 9 minutes long, and the whole time I'm just like, deport, get the fuck out of here. Like, why are you here? We don't want that type. Why are they here? Is that the type of people you want? Because, man, when I go to the US, I respect their laws. I do what I'm supposed to do because I'm a foreigner. I'm there as, what's the expression? You as someone invites you to their house, you don't put your fucking shoes on their couch.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
I'm a guest.
Common
I
courtesy.
respect it.
Common courtesy.
It's common sense as a whole. But on that note, let's finish on a good. That video is so awesome. I shared it. It went viral because it's awesome. But
what's that?
This is the video I was talking about that woman that just plows through a Free Palestine protest that's taking place in the middle of the street. She's like, fuck you, I'm going.
Fuck you.
But
fuck you.
Here's the picture. This is the picture you were talking about. And if you guys can't see it clearly, she's literally sitting in the truck with her middle finger up.
Why would she be charged?
She wasn't. She's gonna.
No, I know that, but just the fact that they're saying it means she might have been.
Of course, Olivia Chow wanted her to be charged, so the mayor of Toronto wanted her to be charged. But here's the video. That video is. I love when people are protesting in the street and people in their cars or truck, they're like, yeah, fuck you, get the fuck out of my way.
Oh yeah.
I was just watching a video where they're, those Greenpeace people are sitting in the middle of a highway blocking traffic. The guy gets out of his car. He's like, hey, my wife is giving birth in my car right now. I'm on my way to the hospital. Didn't care. The guy just went through. Don't care.
That's
just push
crazy,
the people
man.
out. Oh, I would have done the same thing if my wife is in labor.
Absolutely.
And you're blocking the street. Guess what, motherfucker?
The fuck
you're
out,
getting run over.
Yeah.
You better move. But normally those
man.
protesters are so fat that unless you're driving a truck, you're gonna hurt your car. You're gonna damage your car. Right?
Oh yeah.
So let's finish on a good note because I fucking love this video. Here's the video of the woman plowing through a Free Palestine protest.
We know what our objective is. It didn't end at the ceasefire. It was never just about the ceasefire. It was about enforcing that an arms embargo.
Fuck you.
That's flipping the bird.
Yep.
How dare you? How dare you? Oh, so they don't like it when people disrupt them doing that thing. Interesting. Oh, how unusual. They certainly don't mind disrupting everyone else.
But this video is awesome because nobody got hurt. Everybody's okay. But she's like, fuck you.
Yeah. I love that she's like a counselor. I think she's a city councilor or something.
I love the fact that she looks like she's a brown girl too. She's not a white guy, so they can't go after the white supremacist thing. She looks like a colored woman. Like she looks like she's native. She looks like she got something that ain't white. So they can't call her a white supremacist. So what the fuck can they say? I love it. I wish it was a black woman. That would have made it like a black woman or a Muslim woman wearing an hijab.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. But we all know Muslim women can't. They can't say anything. They can't say what they actually want.
They can't drive. Oh, I thought you were going to say they can't drive.
No, they can't drive, but they certainly can't speak up politically against things that would be against Islam for sure.
I was going to say something really racist, as in, that wasn't a Chinese woman. That wasn't a Chinese woman, because she would have ran over like 20 people. I'm just kidding.
Olivia Chow.
She can't even see above the steering wheel, so it would have been a problem.
All right, guys, let's pin it there. Excellent show. It was a great topic. Kudos to you, Nico.
Thank you.
Guys,
I'll do that more. Sorry to cut you off, but I think I'm going to do that more. Instead of really looking for what's necessarily trending, I'm gonna start looking at subjects that I know is going to create a conversation
going. Yeah,
because I don't know, you guys in the comments. Like, for Rob's going to close the show, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but tell me what you think. Would you like better? Would you like not? If it's trending, it's trending, right? If it's worth talking about,
but not be like a slave to the trending.
Exactly. Because I spent a lot of time looking for good subjects to cover. I like those conversational subjects. I knew that this is not trending anywhere, but I wanted to talk about those things, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, if you're out there, please remember to like and share the show. That's the best way. That's one of the ways you can support us. If you really want to support us, the best way to do that, of course, is become a member. You can do that for the low price of $2.99. Through the YouTube, and also make sure to come back if you're new here. As you can see, the show is heavily based on audience engagement, audience participation. It's really what the show's all about. We got people all over the political spectrum, people disagreeing with us, agreeing with us, but we all do it respectfully, and we find common ground wherever we can. So if you're looking for a place like that on the internet, you found a home. You're here at the Political Orphans. Other than that, folks, we'll catch you tomorrow night, same time, same bat channel. Peace.